good morning, and hello, welcome, you guys. My name is NiKole Maxwell, and I am your host for today. We are going to be jumping into this training, and so today we have had some technical challenges. That's all right because they call me technical for a reason. I'm working some stuff out on this end of the world. Apparently, my second monitor has gone out, and if any of you know what it's like to be fully functional with several monitors, you know that hurts quite a bit. It has reduced my productivity probably to just about none. But we're going to make some stuff happen. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to find a way to make this work out today. So I am definitely happy that you've joined us today. I don't know what's going on. Like everything on my end of the world is kind of a little crazy today, but that's all right because that's not why you're here. You are here to learn. So let's learn something today. Today we are very happy to be presenting through our Grow with Google partnership. We are presenting basically a how-to on Google Docs. So for anyone who does not know how to use Google Docs, this is a perfect session for you. So I encourage you to get comfortable, not too comfortable. I want you to break out your laptops and your desktops, your tablets, and your phones, because those are all the different ways that you can access Google Docs. And you're going to be able to create a document. So how do you create documents? How are you more productive with the ability to create documents, and how can you share those documents with other people, because collaboration is key. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. It's how to create a document with Google Docs. Before we get started, I want to just tell you a little bit about myself. My name is NiKole Maxwell. I am also known as Technical. I am also known as the Metaverse Goddess in some arenas. And I am the CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises. We are a proud, high-impact Grow with Google partner. And we are also the parent company of the Blackverse Metaverse community. So if you have ever tapped into Clubhouse and you've had some conversations about real decentralization, what that can look like and how it shows up, you were probably hanging out with us over in Blackverse. And so Blackverse is our community of great people who are out here doing wonderful things in Web3. Black Multiverse is an organization that is dedicated to disrupting disenfranchisement in the present so that we can preserve some possibilities in the future. And so we are definitely excited about this partnership with Google in our traditional spaces and for traditional arenas, because we are skilling people up. We are skilling people up with the skills that they need in order to get better positions, to get better placement for jobs and for positions, to have some skills that can make life a little bit easier and sometimes a little bit more cost effective than some other things. But it's all about productivity at the end of the day. And so what can you do to make sure that you are being as productive as possible? So those are tools that you have at your disposal. They're right there at your fingertips. If you've ever searched Google, if you have ever had a Gmail account, you likely already have a user account with Google, which means that you have access to all these different tools that you can put to use. And so we're going to have a quick message from our sponsors, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the training. So don't forget, break out your laptop, your desktop, your everything. Break it all out so that you can get this done. Jump in and grow with Google. And just give me just a second. We're going to pull up some messages from our sponsors, and then we will jump into the training. right, and we are back, and I am so happy to have you with us. Welcome to the Grow with Google training for Google Docs. So we're going to learn how to use Google Docs today. Let me pull up our presentation, and then we will jump right on in. First, though, I want to say kudos to Black Multiverse, to all of our employees. So first of all, welcome to our new employees. Welcome, 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 welcome. We've got 3 new employees who jumped on this week, and they're gonna, or two last week, 1 this week, 1 yesterday, and those folks are gonna get going, and we're just really excited to see what they do. We're delighted to be able to be extending the team. If you know of anyone in your immediate realm who needs a position as a sales representative, either a Web 2 sales representative or Web 3 sales representative, please let me know. If you are in need of sales representatives, please let me know. We can talk about what that can look like to extend your network. We are always extending our partner network, so happy to be able to do that with folks. So today it's all about Google Docs, Google Docs, Google Docs, Google Docs, Google Docs. So let's get going with this, and we will make sure that you can see, because you don't need to see me. And so we're going to be learning the basics. Today is all about the basics. So let's talk about it. We are going to walk through everything you need to create your own documents, all right, in Google Docs, because that's what's important, is creating those documents, right? So what is Google Docs? Well, what is it? You hear this stuff all the time. You may not know about what this is. So Google Docs is a free web-based application that's used for creating and editing documents. So if you've used it before, then you know what it is. If you've used other alternatives, which I won't name today, you probably know what it is. So there's some very common ones out there that allow you to edit documents. And so you're able to use that wherever you go. Now, the cool thing about Google Docs is that it's a cloud-based document management system. DMS actually is what that usually stands for. And it means that you can, that the document you create is in the cloud. Well, what's the cloud? The cloud is this thing. It's like a storage space in the sky. That's what a cloud is. And so you are able to access any of the documents that you create there at any point in time with any device on the internet. As long as it can get to the website, you are likely able to pull that up. Okay. How long it takes, that's a whole different problem and question, right? You can use Google Docs to write almost any text-based document, whether it's a letter, a resume, a proposal for work, a meeting agenda, or some notes, or maybe even a whole entire book. Google Docs just makes it really easy to collaborate with others. If you were in one of my sessions before, then like my background is I used to be the director of professional services for a software company that specialized in proposal software for the federal government. So we had software that allowed us to create things for the bid capture and propose space. So what that means is federal contracts was what we were dealing with. And so if you've ever applied for a federal contract or even a state contract, how intensive those documents can be and how specific they have to be. And so Google Docs allows you to collaborate with your team members to make sure that you're getting the full-on capabilities of your documentation and things like that. So it makes it easy, right? I just realized I did not pull up Discord today. We're going to go ahead and skip Discord for this particular session. Like I said, things are crazy on this end of the world, so we're going to just let that go. But back to the training. So collaboration. How do you collaborate with Google Docs? Well, it makes it really, really easy to collaborate. So we're going to go over how to do that today. You can write letters between you and your friends. You can create a meeting agenda with your coworkers, ask classmates for feedback on something that you've done, or collaborate with people from around the world. Like that's what Google Docs enables you to do. They are included in every single Google account. So if you have a free one, you get that too. If you have Gmail, you have Google Docs too. If you have the paid versions of Google, whether it's Google individual workspaces or Google professional workspaces, you have Google Docs. So everybody on this planet at some point, I feel like, has had a Gmail account or for some reason has utilized the power of Google in some capacity. So you likely have access to a Google Doc. Okay. Every time you create a new doc, your document will be automatically saved to your Google Drive. Next week on Tuesday, we'll be having a Google Drive Basics. So you're going to be able to jump into that. Okay. Um, and Google Drive is a free online storage, utility system that is that enables you to store your documents. Okay, so you never need to stop and like save your doc. It's like always there. I actually ran into this problem the other day with a whole different provider. So definitely know the pain of losing a document. That actually still happens in some arenas today. So now that we've talked a little bit about what it is, what might you use it for? Think about that. Think about what you would use it for in your life. What do you use Google Docs for? So for me, we just hired some people. I created that resume or that job description, not the resume. I created that job description in Google Docs and then posted it out to sites like Indeed and LinkedIn and to our homepage. Okay. So, think about that. Like, what would you do? So now we're going to go ahead and sign in. And so if you want to sign in, all you're going to do is go straight to google.com and then sign in, or you can try to go to Gmail if you already have one. You're going to be able to access the menu button from right there. So just sit tight. But either way, if you don't have a Google account, this is the perfect time for you to go ahead and try to create one. So to sign in, you're just going to go and sign in. If you have already got an account, skip this, skip ahead a little bit. But signing is easy. It's not too difficult. You're going to be able to go and sign in. And what's really cool about Google is that you can have multiple Google accounts and be signed into a whole bunch of them at one time. I want to say the limit is 10 accounts at one time. I have probably like 20 or more that I use because I also do many different things, but I have all of those different accounts. So you're able to actually use those. Okay. So in a new tab in your browser, you're going to be able to click and go to google.com. So go to google.com and then click sign in the upper corner, and you're going to be able to sign in. All right. So you're going to be able to sign in. All right, so let me update this. Yeah. And then all you got to do is enter your password. So enter your password. After you sign in, you'll be able to enter it and then go ahead and access it. So click on next and it'll let you jump in there. All right. So that's the quick and dirty. If you actually need help with this, someone can help you to do this. You can reach out to us at info@blackmultiverse.io. There's several YouTube videos on how to actually create this though. So maybe that's a better option. But you do have access to some of these things at your disposal. Okay. All right. So now that you are in, you're going to be able to create the doc. Okay, so next up, we're going to go straight to Google Docs and we're going to give it a title. All right, so we're going to go step by step. This is definitely beginner friendly. So if you are a more advanced user, you may want to skip ahead. So we are going to go slow at a slower pace for everybody who is just kind of catching up. All right. So in this module, you're going to be creating a new document. Again, it's going to be a Google Doc. We're going to give it a title. And then we're going to go step by step. All right. So within Google, so this is going to be your landing page. All right. So you're going to go to open the apps menu. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to have your little icon. Now, if you've been a seasoned Google member over time, you may have a picture there. You may have something really cool that represents you, like your logo or something like that in the upper right-hand corner. If you have a brand new account or if you've just never done it, you have a letter. And so that letter represents likely the very first letter of your name. Okay, so in the picture that you're seeing, there's a big purple A. The colors, I believe, are randomized. You can't get the color that you want all the time. But if you want to change it, it's really easy to go ahead and actually put in the picture that you want. All right. But anyway, when you get there, you're going to be able to click on Google Apps in the upper right hand corner. And actually, right next to that big purple A, on the left-hand side of that, there's a dial pad, and that is where you're going to click. That's where all of our apps are. Okay, so once you click that, you're going to be able to scroll down and find Google Docs. All right, and then click the Docs. All right, so usually Docs is on the first page. But if you have altered this list, your docs may be lower in the list or it could be higher in the list. So right now you're seeing something, and that something, that order that's there, it's not the same on everybody's screen. So like I said, if you've previously done this on purpose or by accident, you may have rotated the order of all these applications. So you got to look for Google Docs and then find out where it is. Now, for what I do, Google Docs is usually one of the most important documents, because I'm very heavy into creating policies and procedures and things like that. So you can pull this forward, and all you have to do is kind of drag and drop it. So click the icon and then drag it up or to the left or to the right, depending on where you want it positioned on your grid, and you'll see it pop in right there. Now that's a little bit more advanced. You don't have to do that at all. All you have to do is click it, and that will allow you to come into Google Docs. All right. All right. So you're going to click that one time, and then it's going to open up Google Docs. And so this is now Google Docs. So this is what you should be seeing. Across the top, you do see templates. Down in the bottom, you likely also see templates. So if I recall, the very first time you come in here, you see a whole bunch of templates. At least on every new account that I've had, you see lots of templates already. All right, so you're going to click that button. And that plus button allows you to add a blank document. Okay, so we're not going to use templates right now, but that is how you would create a blank document. So let me actually go back so you can see that one more time. So there is a plus button. It's right there. This is kind of common, but if you're not someone who uses documents quite a bit, then this may not be as common for you. So definitely click that plus button, and that's going to add a new document to a new document for you to update. Okay, so it just creates the blank shell that we're going to update and put in information in. All right, and so here it is. So this is a blank document. All right, so this is blank. There's nothing here. That's all that means. So you got a cursor, and that's it. Like you'll see that cursor flashing, and that also is dependent on your computer settings. All right, so this is what it should look like. Across the top, you have the menu bar. And in the bottom, that big white space, that is your document area. So you're able to actually use that area to type, to add images, to add videos, and things like that. All right. Okay. So now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kick this up a notch. We're going to name our document. Okay. This is really important because it allows you to know which document that you were working on. As you get more and more intense with creation of documents and the updating of documents, you are going to be able to actually have access to more and more documents, right? So go ahead and type in a name. So what you're going to do is click in that actual, or it says untitled document. You're going to click that. And once you click that, it opens up the title and allows you to rename it. Okay, so all you have to do is type. So click once and then type. All right. And so then you're going to type. And if you don't know what to type right now, you can type your name and then like document one, or you can create a document called multiverse doc, or you can create test doc, or you can create your doc and just name it whatever feels right to you. You can name it business doc, but just name it something so that you know what this is, because as soon as you do this, and actually even sooner, it's already been stored in your Google Drive. So once you change the name, the document name in your Google Drive is going to update also. So that saving process happens literally immediately. Like, you don't typically have to wait too long in order for this document to be saved. There's very little opportunity for this document to be gone, and if it's not available, it is likely due to an internet connectivity issue rather than it being a storage issue with your drive. But so you're just going to go ahead and click that, and you see that on screen, like we've done that. So I'm going to let that play a couple times so you can actually see it. All right. Do we have any questions on that part? If you've got questions on that part, go ahead and tap into the comments. And we see Miss Duncan is here. And we're going to go ahead and keep going. So now that we've done that, we're going to go and open the Google Apps menu. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and check out formatting. So now we have a document that has been created, and now we need to update it. So we're going to add in some cool formatting things. All right. So in the Google's toolbar, you are going to, at the top, you're going to find every formatting option you can think of. So when I say toolbar, what I am showing is the area underneath file, like you see a whole entire bar and it's got a whole bunch of icons on there. That is what we refer to as your toolbar. Okay. Above where it says file, edit, view, insert, format, tools, those are all menu buttons or menu options. Okay. So when people refer to the toolbar, that is literally that bar of tools that shows up, and that is why it's called the toolbar. All right. So if at the top of every single document, you'll see it creates buttons with some shortcuts. So those are shortcuts to things that you can do quickly and easily. So it helps you to just do more commonly used actions and activities. All right. So use the toolbar, and we're going to perform some formatting updates. We don't have a lot of features. It's got a whole ton of features, but we're not going to go through all of those. We're just going to go through the basics because this is a basics course. All right. If you don't know what any of these icons actually do, you can click on one. I'm sorry, you can hover over it, not click. Don't click. If you click, it's going to do it. So if you want to know what it does, you just hover your little cursor over it. Okay. The toolbar, you're going to just use it as a selection of the most popular items that you have. However, it is not everything that you have access to. There's a lot there, but there's even more if you find what you're looking for in the actual menu options. Okay. So you can click on the menus above and then navigate through those to see what additional things are available to you. Okay. And there's way more tips and tricks I could give you. I feel like I'm a pro, and sometimes I don't. But there's a lot that you have access to, and ways that you can be a little bit more technically savvy with what you're doing. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to type a sentence. So we're going to type a sentence, and that sentence, you can put whatever sentence you want. I'm going to put something here that's a little, we're just going to put in, I am learning to use Google Docs because that's what's happening, right? And so I'm going to let that run a couple times. If you don't know how to type into a Google Doc, this is all you got to do is make sure that you're in that white space and then type right there. So whatever letters you're pressing on your keyboard, those are going to show up right inside of the doc, okay? And that can be just one word. You can put like 5 sentences, you can put 12 paragraphs, whatever you want to do. It's going to be right there. Okay. Now that you've typed your sentence, you're going to select it. So you're going to take your mouse and drag from the end of what you want to do to the tip of what you want to do. So we are now selecting what we want to change. All right. So again, we're still talking about how to format something. So we're taking this nice and slow. You're going to select from the end of the end of the section you want to update to the beginning of the section you want to update. All right, so take that really, really slow. Make sure that it's blue. When it's blue or highlighted, it should look kind of like what's on my screen, okay? And then you can go and click one of the buttons on top, and that's going to change its formatting. All right, so we can change colors, we can change the intensity of text, you can make it emphasized or put it in italics, and all of those things are up there at the top in the formatting toolbar. And you're going to look where it says BIU, that is bold, italic, underline. And then next to that, you see an A with a dark bar underneath it. That bar is actually your color. And so you're going to be able to change colors. You're going to be able to change the highlight color if you highlight something. So all of that is what we consider formatting. So the size is also formatting. All right. So now that you've got your text, we're going to go through a few of the more common tools that you're going to be using. So I just named them off, but I want you to go ahead and look through your toolbar now because we're going to navigate through that toolbar. All right. So we're going to change the font. Okay. So to change font, you see where it says Arial. You're going to click on Arial. And then you're going to look down and find a font that resonates with you. It's a font that's going to feel like what you want it to for what you're trying to achieve. And then you're going to be able to select it. So just one click on that will change your font type to whatever you've selected. So Arial is the default. That is always what's going to be here unless you have customized some things on the back end of your Google that will allow you to customize this, okay? So Arial, so Google Docs off the cuff, so just out of the package, allows you to have 30 different fonts. You are able to add in more fonts. You see that right there underneath the word Arial at the very top. There's the button that says more fonts. Like you're actually able to click that, and then you're able to input fonts that come out from the actual Google Fonts API. That is way more advanced. We're not going to touch on that today. All right, so now you know how to change a font. You're now able to increase or decrease the size of that font. Okay, so font is the appearance of the text. Okay, the font size is what it sounds like. So it's the size of the letters in the text. All right. So the number of pixels that are shown, the size of the pixels that are shown. So normally your default is about 14 or 16. pixels, and then it's going to go up from there. In Google Docs, though, because this is a document tool, it's usually around 10 or 11. Sometimes it's 12. That's your default. I believe Google's default is 11. So Arial 11 is going to be the default there. But web browsers, it's usually like 16 or 14. Okay. And then, so we're going to talk about that. So that's how you would use that. Then you also have the ability to, so that's how you increase or decrease your font. So if you don't want to actually type in the number, you can just increase or decrease using the indicators there. So if you want to increase it like from 11 to 13, you can click the plus button. If you want to go down one, then you can click reduce, and it's going to go down to 10. All right. So next up, we're going to talk about positioning. And so positioning, when you're talking about fonts, that is all about alignment. And so the 4 common alignments are going to be left, center, right, and justified. So you have left justified, center justified, right justified, and then justified. Okay, so that is the position of the selection of words or letters that you have on screen. Okay, so you're going to be able to move that to that position on the page or on the in the on the line of text. Okay, so if you have a very big font, then it might be a very big push from the left to the right. But if you're just doing like 11 .11 font, then it is going to go from the right to the left, and it will be a very small nudge to the right or to the left, right? So it positions the start of your text to a certain location. Okay. All right. So now you've done that. Like, let's say that you go ahead and you click on right justified, and then you're like, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go center. I meant to be centered. And so you can always undo. I say always, and I don't mean that. I mean, most times you can undo. And so to undo something, I'm going to show you a trick. So up in the upper left-hand corner of your Google Docs toolbar, there is an undo and a redo button. And so it's going to be either to the left to undo it, that's where the arrow is pointing, or to the right to redo it. Okay, so if you wanted to redo that one more time, you could click redo. Undo, though, is one of the most common things that you are going to do ever in the life of ever. Even if you're perfect, you're going to have to undo something at least once. So give it a go. Change your font to one thing and then click undo so that you can see how that works. And so it should change you right back to Arial, unless you've already changed your font more than once, and then it will take you back to wherever you started. All right, so it just goes back one hop. So one action of yours that you did, it will undo that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and play with some things. All right, so now we're going to turn this into an actual Google Doc. So we're going to go ahead and type some sentences, 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to actually use the formatting on each different sentence. So I want you to highlight some text, change the font, adjust the alignment, and then undo something. Okay. You can undo everything. The more times you push undo, the further back to the original state of your document you are going to go. Okay. So that is something that is very cool. All right, so you're going to watch it on screen if you're following along and you get stuck. Watch what's happening here. So we're selecting the text and then going to the toolbar to change the text. And it chooses bold first, and then it makes it italic or emphasized. And then here we're changing the positioning from left to right. We also changed the size of the font, and then click undo, 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 and everything resets back to its original state. Okay. So I'll let that play a couple times so you can see it. All right. So hopefully you guys got that. I definitely recommend that you try this more than once. Repetition makes perfect. I don't know who said anything else, but repetition makes perfect. The more you repeat something, it's going to be become a staple, and you're going to be able to go to it without even thinking about it because you're going to know it internally, right? So, all right. Next up, so now we've come to the point where we have created a document. We've got some words on it. And this document can be 5 pages. It can be 1 page. It can be 5 lines, 10 sentences. It can be anything that you want this document to be. And so, like I said earlier, you can include images and videos and all sorts of little cool things inside of your documents. You can add links, which are called hyperlinks, out to a website or to another document. There's some really cool ways that you can take these documents and use them even with your websites. So to give somebody a really cool handout, like you can create a Google Doc and then create a link that goes to that Google Doc. But it all starts with sharing. So whether or not you want to share a document with someone else or just add someone in as a collaborator, it all starts with sharing. So sharing a doc is what we're going to talk about next. All right. So you're going to share with a partner. So, yeah, if you don't have a partner, that's okay. This is for practice, so you can use me. All right. So you're sharing a Google Doc as a way of giving someone else access to a document so that they can look at it, they can comment on it, or they'll be able to edit it. All right. So you can choose, and it's important that you understand this. You choose how they interact with your document every single time you share it. Once someone is shared on that document, they will have access to it whether or not you have it opened on your device. So if you give someone access, they're then able to go into that doc when you are sleeping, or when you are getting ready to present it, or when you are unavailable. So there's positives and there's also negatives. It is important that you ensure that you are being secure when you share your documents. And by being secure, I'm not talking about Google. Google secures your documents just by the nature of how things work. But what you do may change that security of your documents. So make sure that you are sure when you're sharing a document with someone. It's really, really important, okay? Once someone, let me see where am I at. So you're going to go ahead and give your email address to someone. And they'll be no, let's not do this, because I'm sorry, this is for my in-person presentation. We're going to not do that part. What I want you to do is think about someone that you would share this document with. So we're going to step through it. You can choose someone who's already in your contact list, and if you're using Gmail and Google Contacts, or you can fake like you're sending it to me. Okay, so you can always do somebody just random. So you could do test@test.com, or you can do test@gmail.com, but I'm fairly certain test@gmail.com gets a whole bunch of emails. And so if you're using something secure, you don't really want to do that. So pick an email of someone you trust, and we're going to fake like we're sending them documents. All right. Okay, so when you are in your Google Doc, you're going to see a share button, and that share button is located in the upper right-hand corner. The share button is blue. It's always blue. That is just how Google has done it. It is always blue. And so you're always going to be able to see that. And when you click on the share button, you're going to see the pop-up that comes up, and I'm going to show you how to actually do this, okay? So when you hover your cursor over the button, it should say that it's private, and that means that it has not been shared with anybody. So there's also going to be a lock button next to that if it's still private. All documents are created as private, so you don't ever have to worry about that. But if you begin to create documents inside of folders that are shared, that may be a different story. So just be aware that the document retains the properties of the folder that it was created in. So that's a little bit more advanced. We're not really going to dive into that. I just wanted you to be aware in case you are one of those users, because safety and security of your documents is what's important to me. All right. So next up, you're going to go ahead and click it. And when you click it, see, that's what it should say. So that's what your message should look like: private to only me. Now, when you click it, you're going to see the share menu pop up. So this is what I was talking about. You're going to see it pop up. All right. So it says share with people and groups. Okay. So when you click that, it says share with people and groups. If you have not named your document before, then it is going to ask you for a name of that document before it can be shared. So that's something just to note. When you see this, it is going to definitely say, it'll have the name of the document and then what you're sharing. So you're going to see anyone who already has access to this document, and then you should always see yourself because you are the document's creator. Of course, you have access to it. All right. So you can share it with a person that you know, a collaborator, a friend, someone from your community. You can share it with us. All right. So to share your document with somebody, you're just going to type their name in the space where it says add people and groups. Okay. If it's someone that you've shared documents with before, Google might prompt you and say, hey, do you want to do this again? Make it easy on yourself. And you have the right and the option to say yes or no to that. Okay. Once you selected someone, you're going to go ahead and select which permission you want to give them. So if you have three options, okay? Oops, you have three options. So the first option is that they are going to be a viewer of the document. That means that they're going to be able to see the document. They're going to be able to see the document right now. They're going to be able to see the document in the future. Any changes that get made, they're able to see it. Okay. And that's a viewer. If you want someone to be a commenter, then that means that they will be able to view and add comments, but they won't be able to make changes. So when they're a commenter, they're able to select specific lines of text and then comment on what you've written. So if you are somebody who is not, let's say you're a writer and you are someone who gets offended when somebody makes a comment about your work, don't share as a commenter. Just give them rights to view it, right? So protect yourself in that way. But if you are someone who's looking to collaborate on a document, or you want someone's opinion, but you don't want them to adjust anything, maybe it's proprietary, maybe it's not, but you just don't want them to adjust anything, you can make them a commenter so they can give you feedback without being able to manipulate your document in any kind of way. All right. And then the third option is that they're an editor. And what that means is they're able to see it, they're able to comment on it, and they're also able to make changes. Now, this is the ultimate form of collaboration. So you're going to be just giving them pretty much your document to be able to adjust. So be sure that that's what you actually want to do. Now, if they're not expecting this, then it's just common courtesy to go ahead and tell them why you're sending it over. There's a description box that will come up. If you only want them to do certain things, then definitely outline that in the email so that you have it as a reference point. And then down below, you're going to be able to see that there's actually general access, and it says it's restricted. That is the default, and it says only people with access can open. And so you're granting these specific people the access to be able to open it. And then once you click send, they receive an email. And so this is linking in with your Gmail, and that is where it's coming from. So remember, you're signed in to your Google account. That Google account is also linked to a Gmail. That Gmail is where this email is going to be sent from, and the message will be received by whoever you're inviting to collaborate. That's the email they're going to see too. I hope that made sense. All right, so next step, we're going to step through it. All right, we're going to step through it. All right. Keep stepping through it. All right, and so now your document is shared. All right, so go ahead and do this if you did not. We're going to step through it one more time so that you can see it on screen one more time. First, you're going to click the share button, and then you're going to type in someone's name, or Google will suggest somebody. You can give them editor access to this document that we're creating today, just so you can see what it looks like. And then you're going to send it off once you're all done. And now you've been able to share your presentation with someone else. All right. So that's cool. All right. So that email gets sent out right away. All right. So let's go through the opposite way. So how to open a shared document? Well, okay. Well, there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. How do you share and open, or how do you open a shared document? Uh-oh. Okay, how do you share an open document? So you're going to, if somebody shares something with you, you're going to be able to go into your Gmail account, and you'll get the email that we just talked about. And it will say, can you go ahead and click on a document that's been shared with you? So-and-so has shared blah, blah, blah document with you. And then go ahead and click on it, and it opens it up. Now, if it's time to collaborate, you're going to both open the same document at one time, and you'll see each other show up inside the document. All right. So you're going to be able to edit together. All right. So for this particular example, this works really good when you have several people attempting this at the same time. But just know that these are the steps you're going to follow. Okay. So if you're working on a Google Doc at the same time as somebody else, it allows you to add your own ideas into the document while making changes and seeing each other's contributions at the same time. Man, I cannot tell you how much this has improved the space of collaborative documentation. That's the space that I used to be in. And man, we spent a very long time trying to come up with a really cool way to be able to comment on proposals. But then Google came out with some changes to Google Docs and the Drive and workspaces that put it to shame. And that's all I have to say about it. And I'm okay saying that because I've always been a Google fangirl. So It was really cool to see that happen in real time, but that also lets us know that as technology gets better and better, we have to be mindful of how we're evolving to stay abreast of it, right? So if you used to be somebody like before all this stuff came out, or even maybe you're still using things that aren't efficient, like this is a great alternative to that, right? So when you are having to collaborate on a document or a federal proposal, you used to like literally get stacks of documents together and then have to find and piecemeal things together. Now that's going back pretty far when we're talking about having paper. But even once we made the move online, it was all about finding documents and being able to then parse documents together and get people's feedback. And do you like this color? Do you like this position? Do you like the font that's used here? Does the font match the requirements? What about this image? Those kinds of things. And so that back and forth used to make it like really, really hard. And so now with Google Docs, with collaborative editing, you have a much better way of tracking your documents. So you're able to share access to the same document. You guys can see it in real time. You can see the document changes that get updated, and you don't have to juggle multiple copies of the document around anymore. There's like, you can still version things if you'd like to, but there's actually built-in versioning as well. And versions are just copies of snapshots of the document taken in at a specific point in time. And usually it revolves around changes and things like that. All right. So you can go ahead and make changes. Again, you're going to be able to see who's working on your documents. This is important for everybody, regardless of whether or not you are watching this on replays or you're here in the space right now. When you are working on the document, you're going to be able to look in the upper right-hand corner and see the avatars of anyone else who's in that document and looking at that document at that very moment. Eventually, you will be able to see, you'll be able to recognize people's avatars, but just be mindful that if they have more than one Gmail account, like that avatar could be very different depending on the day and the account they're using, and how you've chosen to share your document. Okay. So once you're both in the document and you're both sitting there, you can see everything that the other person is doing. You're going to be able to see what they're writing. They're going to be able to see what you're writing. Okay. All right. So for this exercise, we're going to imagine that we're going to the grocery store with our roommate, right? So we've got one or two items that we're going to put into the list that we're going to go ahead and buy. So sometimes you want to see where your collaborators are at in the doc. So this can get really tricky sometimes. So to keep track of your collaborators, you're going to be able to find their avatar in the upper right-hand corner, and then click their avatar, and your cursor actually jumps to the point where they are in the document, which is really kind of cool. Okay, so that allows you to keep track of what they're looking at, what they're doing, and kind of if they're down at the bottom making changes while you're up at the top making changes, that might be what you want. But if you guys are supposed to be collaborating on a school project and both putting inputs in at the same time, then that may be something you want to monitor. Okay, so let's see, how do Google Apps work together? When you're collaborating on a document, like sometimes you really just need to chat with somebody and talk about like what's actually happening. So there's a chat feature also. Okay, so to use the chat feature, you're just going to make sure that you're both in there and then chat with each other. Okay, so you're going to click on the chat tool. And that chat tool is up in the upper right-hand corner, right next to the share box. All right, so you're going to see that. And then it brings up that pop-up window. You're able to type and talk and do stuff. And you guys can talk about other stuff that's unrelated to the document, just like you would if you were on text messages. And so that's really, really cool. All right. Now, in all things collaboration, sometimes somebody's got to say something, right? So you gotta comment. And so oftentimes there are capabilities of commenting, but they're very kludgy, or they don't work, or it doesn't make sense to what you're trying to say. This is extremely important. I use this to basically um, point out some flaws in a contract not too long ago. And that contract was, it was about 30 pages or so, but the team had not done a review of the contract. And it was basically a waste of my time. And so by using comments, I was able to go into like the first couple paragraphs and or the first couple statements on the contract, and just outline like literally like 40 different things that needed to be done, and then prove the point that it wasn't worth my time to continue. So I documented and was able to save my business from going into a relationship that would not have made sense. And so, those are things you can do, but it doesn't always have to be a negative, right? Like, so you might be commenting and saying, "Hey, great job! This sentence sounds amazing," or "Hey, this is the." Did you find the include that won us the last proposal? Or what did Mr. So and so say about this? And did you contact the client like to get their permission? Those are great types of comments that lead to feedback, lead to wins, and allow people to really have some capability of tracking what it is that they said or asked, or and sometimes the emails are just too much. And so this is a lot better because it's sitting right inside the document. So your comments are, first of all, they're stored within the document. Now you're able to select something and then create a comment on it. So the steps to do so are listed on the page, but you're able to actually select a text or an object and then go ahead and click on add comment. So over on the right hand side of your screen, you see right there by the lines where you're typing, you see a blue plus button. A blue plus button allows you to add a comment, okay? Or you can right click and then choose add comment. So either way, you can also select it from above. So we're going to step through what this looks like, okay? So you've selected the text that you want, and we've got that on screen. You're going to click the toolbar above, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and click the comment button over on the right-hand side. So that's what I was talking about. And it opens up a message box. All right. So then you're able to type in your comment, whatever that comment looks like. It shows that you're the one writing it. Once you're done, all you do is click select, you hit the comment button at the bottom, and that's going to allow you to submit it. Okay. So now your comment shows up and it shows your name. That's how it captures the comment. There's a little card there that shows that you wrote it. And this comes up anytime somebody hovers over that piece that you actually selected. All right, so this is really cool. This is a great way to be an effective commenter, is to listen to everything I just said. So to edit your comment, if let's say that you missed a letter or a word, you're going to go ahead and edit by clicking the three dots. So come to your comment, hover over it, get the comment card to pop up, and then you're going to click on the three dots and then choose edit if you want to edit, or even if you want to delete your comment, you can do that too. All right, once you select edit, your comment box reopens and you're able to adjust whatever you've written and then save it again. Really cool feature at the bottom there is link to this comment, so you're able to actually click a link and then go shoot off an email. I said this in the comments, which, people do that, and I think it's funny. All right. You can also respond to comments. So if somebody commented, you're able to re-comment to them. So in order to do that, you're going to be able to click on show. So hover over it, click on show. I'm sorry. Hover over the comment and then click on the comment itself, and that will open up the comment. And then if you didn't write it, it's going to add that it wants you to either reply or to add others. Okay, so you can add someone else to that specific comment. And you can do that with a mention sign. So let's say that you have this document shared with like 40 people. You can mention someone so that they know that that specific comment is for them, shoots them off an email, and allows them to come into the document and reminds them to come into the document to fill it out. Okay. And then you're going to just type in whatever you wanted to if you're replying, and then click OK. Or click reply, I'm sorry. All right, so this is what I was talking about. You're able to mention someone or tag someone. So to mention someone, you're just going to type the @ symbol, and that is their Gmail address. Now, unfortunately, if you're using a corporate account, it works the same way, but it's not the Gmail account. So it's going to be whatever your domain is. So the @blackmultiverse.io domain is where you would reach NiKole if this were a corporate account versus a personal or an individual account. All right, so this is a cool way. If you tag someone who does not already have access to the document, you're going to be prompted to share it with them. So even if they're in your contacts list, like you're able to add in their email address, but if they have never been given access, you still have to give them access to share that document with them. If you haven't done that, it prompts you. So this is how to do the @. So you're literally pressing shift and then the number 2 to get the @ symbol, and then typing your message. So you type in the email address of that person, and then go ahead and it will send them. It will send them the message. Excuse me. All right, so now you are all set. Okay, so if you want to read all the comments that have been left on the document, you're able to go ahead and click on Open Comment History. And that's going to be found on the upper right-hand side. Okay, so you're going to click Comments, and then there it should say Comment History also. Oops. What did I do? Okay, so you're able to see literally everything. So a window pops up, it shows you everything that's been talked about. You're able to see suggestions and then whether or not someone accepted or rejected the suggestion. So we didn't really talk about that, but accepting or rejecting a comment is actually what your job is as the document owner. So you go in and you verify that yes, that's the move we're going to make for this document, and you just give that feedback to the person that made the comment. All right, so now you try it. So if you are working on your own, again, you're just going to leave a comment and then step through it. So leave a comment and then reply to it, and then, share it with somebody, and then mention someone else. Okay. Suggestion mode. Ooh, what's that? All right, so next up, we have suggestion mode, and I admit that I do not use this enough. So this is not my strong suit, but we're all going to learn about it today. So suggestion mode allows you to recommend changes that are easy for your collaborators to see, so they have the option to review your suggestions. This is what I was talking about, so I do use it. Never mind. Then they can accept your suggestions, which allows them to incorporate them into the document or reject them, which makes your suggestions disappear. Okay. So when you turn on suggestion mode, the changes that you make to the document will be extremely visible. So they're going to be present on the screen. If you type new text, it appears in a bright color next to your collaborators, and you're going to be able to see a brightly colored line around any new text that you've typed. Anything that is deleted, it comes out in the same color. But it shows up as crossed out. A comment appears automatically describing the changes that you have made if you do that. So let's talk about this. Again, in federal proposals, it is important that you're working in a collaborative way. And so people will make suggestions, and you, as the proposal manager or as the person who's in charge of what's actually happening, you have to be the one to decide whether or not that meets the requirements, or that this should or should not be included and incorporated into your document. You are the document owner. You're the only one who is really enabled to do that. So you can turn on suggestion mode and help you through it. Okay. Okay. So when you turn on suggestion mode, it's going to make it highly visible. We already talked about that. So here's how we're going to actually achieve that, right? So to use suggestion mode, you're going to go to the upper right-hand corner again. You're going to find the button on the toolbox that says editing mode, okay? So you should see editing mode. You're going to switch that. And you're going to click it once and then switch it to suggesting mode, all right? And then type in your document and add another item into the grocery list, because we're building out this grocery list here soon as well. So if you're building out something else, then go ahead and just update your document. Okay. All right. So this is what it looks like. Man. All right. Editing, suggesting, and viewing. So suggesting mode is where we want to go. Now you've changed it to suggestion mode and you've added an update. All right, so this is what it looks like when you've added an edit in the suggestion mode. When you type something new in the document, it's going to appear in color to your collaborators. Any text that you're going to delete is going to show up with a strike through it. So if you didn't like what somebody said, they're going to know that you didn't like what they said, because it's going to show up with a strike through. Okay. So to accept the new change, you or your collaborators have to click the checkbox next to that change in the actual commenting area. So the comment box is where that checkbox is. If you don't like it and it didn't work out for you, you're going to be able to say so with a rejection. So it's just like on a resume, how you get a rejection message. This is a rejection box that you're allowed to choose right here. All right, so this is what that looks like. To accept it, you click accept, or the checkbox. To reject it, you click the X. All right, now you're gonna try it. So you're gonna go and adjust to suggesting mode. And then you're going to type in a new suggestion. And then you're going to check the suggestion or reject the suggestion. Okay. All right. So now we're going to look at the version history. So I talked a little bit about versions earlier today. You have different versions of what you are trying to do, different versions of what you're trying to achieve. Your document evolves over time, and so each of those things is called a version. Versioning is on by default. I don't think you have an option to turn it off, but it is always there in the event that you want to see it. You want to see what's happened. In other applications, this is sort of akin to track changes, except it is actual versioning. Okay. So you're going to click on the File menu to open up the version history of your document. And then you're going to select version history. And then again, choose See Version History. And this is what that looks like. So there it is. Okay. File, version history, See version history. All right. So what is a version history? Well, it's literally the history of your version. So version history is organized by your date and your time. A version appears for every date and time that a document has been worked on. To sneak a peek at a past version, you're going to click on that specific date and time. If you see the changes that were made to your document in that specific work session, you can double click on a version if you want to restore it. So let's say that you had a working version yesterday, someone new came in and they wanted to update your document and pretty much deleted the whole thing except for like a picture of their face, then you can see that and then also revert it right back to where it was. Okay. You're able to double click a version name in order to restore it. So it's very easy. It's almost like the Wayback Machine, like you go back to the way that this was before. That's exactly what you're saying. Okay. All right. You will have the option to click on more actions. This brings up a menu that allows you to name a version. And so that way it's easier, it's more friendly, and you can share it with someone else so they know that it is a version. It may not be the current version. Or you can make a copy of it if you want to. And that is really just hanging out in those old school kind of ways of doing stuff where you have copies of everything. I am definitely a fan, but also understand why we moved away from things like that, because it's not sustainable, especially if you want to scale your business. All right, so opening up version history for your document, you're going to be able to open up the File menu and then click on Version and then click on See Version History. So there we go. We're there again. And you'll see all the different versions of the document that we just created. All right, so you're able to see that in real time as it's happened here today. Okay, so we're all done. I want to just, man, we covered a whole lot. This is probably one of the longer ones that we've had, but it's very beneficial to you. So if you did not know previously how to use a Google Doc, you definitely do now. But man, that's just the tip of the iceberg. You have so much more that you can dive into, you can learn, you can fine tune in your knowledge about Google Docs. All right. So today we covered how to create a Google Doc, and that stands for document. We shared how to share, or we discussed how to share a Google document with others or Google Doc with others. We talked about how to format a Google Doc using the toolbar and how to work on a document at the same time as collaborators, as well as how to leave feedback using comments and how to make suggestions by using the edit functions and suggestion mode. Now, as you explore Google Docs on your own, with other collaborators, with other people, with other coworkers, you're going to find way more uses for it. So no matter what kind of project you're using, Google Docs can make it easier to work with other people, even if you cannot be in the same room. The best way to learn these skills is to use them. So after this workshop, I want you guys to think about how you would use Google Docs and then go out and share it with some friends. Practice, practice, practice. All right. So this session has been provided to you by Black Multiverse in conjunction with Grow with Google. If you like the skills that you learned today, you're going to be able to apply even more skills to your life, to your career, or to your job search. Google has the training and resources that you may need to help you access things remotely, as well as to get ahead when it comes to different learning paths and different options. So these tools that we discussed today, as well as others, are helping to make the most sense for people and entrepreneurs and small businesses and business owners everywhere right now. So definitely tap into the resources Google has. The Applied Digital Skills free training curriculum helps you with more skills that you may want to learn, from everything from data analysis to research and communication out to resume writing. There are going to be some lessons here for adult learners that are a little bit more specific, and then ones that are available for middle schoolers and high school students, okay? If you enjoyed video lessons, you're also going to be able to not only come to blackmultiverse.live and connect with our YouTube channel, but also connect with Google's YouTube channel at youtube.com/growwithgoogle. The channel is going to publish a brand new update every single Tuesday. Okay. So you get access to, every single Thursday. And you're going to get access to grow your skills, your career, and your business information every week. What's more is that if you are looking to start a career, Google Career Certificates exist. While I did say that Black Multiverse is the recipient of Google Career Certifications, which we are, we provide them to our employees. So if you're looking for a sales position, please let me know. That is going to be provided to you free of cost after your second week of work. What we have with Google Career Certificates is that there are numerous ways to actually obtain these certifications and certificates. If you would like to just pay for your own training, you can definitely do that through Google and Google or through Coursera. If you would like to actually be afforded a scholarship or a career certification from a nonprofit, there are many nonprofits who are taking advantage of what Grow with Google has to offer as well. So regardless of how you're doing it, the different areas that you can succeed in are IT support, project management, UX design, data analysis, digital marketing, and e-commerce. All right. Grow with Google we are partners with Grow with Google, and this partnership is all about free training and free tools. So you are able to go to growwithgoogle.com/grow and access free tools. And these tools are available to teachers and students, local businesses and business owners, job seekers, and developers. So this information is out here. It's available. Let's all go win. I want to once again thank you for listening to this particular session with us. My name is NiKole Maxwell, and I am very happy to have had you with us today. I am the CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises, as well as the founder of the Blackverse Metaverse community. So you are able to actually hang out with my community if you just go to blackverse.io. You're able to apply for a position if you go to blackmultiverse.io/apply. that is going to be the quickest way to get access to us and to the positions that are available. You can also find them on our webpage at blackmultiverse.io and look at careers. We're on Indeed and LinkedIn. And so when we're thinking about the future, once again, I want to say that the future is decentralized. We are actively creating ways and pathways and things to help people to understand what is coming. One of those things is through the Grow with Google program, again, where we are enabling ourselves to have education and utilizing some of the resources that are out here and available. So this has been great, and I actually don't have what I was looking for, so we're gonna wait 1 minute. But I want everybody to know that you can get in touch with us. I will leave our information up for a few minutes after I drop off the broadcast, but we're going to go ahead and do a message from our sponsors, and then we will head on out. If you are interested in being a part of the Black Multiverse Speakers Hall of Fame in the Metaverse, please reach out to me because we have things that are available for you. There's still time to get in for 2022. And of course, in 2023, we will have our eyes peeled and be branching out to all sorts of different industries to make this happen on a global scale. So you still have an opportunity to make it happen for you. And we're looking forward to some really cool things that we have on the horizon. So thank you for being a part of today's Grow with Google session. My name is NiKole Maxwell. You can connect with me and with our community at blackmultiverse.io. And here we go, at blackmultiverse.io. Again, we are building up and building out into the metaverse. If your business needs to find its way into the metaverse, you can reach out to me at metamindshift.com. You're able to actually reach out to our organizations here very shortly as well. Lots of different ways to connect. So get into the metaverse because that's what it's all about. We don't want you to be left behind, and we need to be here now building up for the foundations of the future. So thank you guys for listening in. Again, here's a message from our sponsors before we head on out.